Hi, hello. Welcome to my very first art video on YouTube. Welcome. Um, my name is Sasha, and this is process. The process. I'm sorry, I'm very tired at the moment. So this is the rendering process video that I recorded last night for my latest piece that is on my Instagram. Also, that was my chair creaking. So sorry about that. Yeah, so I posted this piece to my Instagram last night and I thought I'd just make a video about it because I mean, why not? What's the worst that could happen? Probably gonna sound like a dumbass. Um, but yeah, so not really much to say throughout this process. I don't really know how to explain what I'm doing while I'm doing it. And now that I'm not actually doing it, I'm just narrating it. I'm like, I did some things and they look like this. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the sort of the idea behind this because I thought I might as well just sort of explain where the idea came from. So the idea came to me like 2 days ago. I was just I in my head I just had this I was looking at children's books just in general, just because I like I like children's book illustrations. Like they're like infantile, but they're not at the same time. The subjects can be quite fantasy based while being like very innocent and like very cute and I don't know. And there's a lot of children's book artists that just do some insane work, and I just thought I wanted to sort of emulate that feeling. I just wanted to give it a go. I thought I just want to I don't know, just want to do something that's like colorful and big and just like crazy and doesn't make any sense, unrealistic. So I thought, and then I just sort of I kept getting this image in my head of a girl like sat on a frog and just taking the frog home, like just like it's a train or like a car or a taxi, or an Uber. Sorry, I don't know who gets taxis nowadays. Anyway, yeah, I just this was the sort of like thought process I had for like the very beginning. And then obviously I did use references, for the lily pad, for example, and for the frog, and then for the girl, which I then ended up just deciding that is Thumbelina, because I thought I've not read that story in a hot minute. I don't see a lot of illustrations of her, or maybe I just don't look hard enough. But there's a with kids stories, there's a lot of stories that are, I wouldn't say repeated, but referenced quite often. So obviously Disney princess stories would be referenced quite often. Um, even traditional stories like Hansel and Gretel, again, it would be referenced quite often. And again, maybe I just don't look hard enough, but I just don't see a lot of Thumbelina stuff. And I wanted to draw her. I was like, yeah, like this is like some alternate universe where she's just, chilling, and she just lives in like some sort of little forest or, little park or something, and she just goes berry picking and she goes home on the frog, and just again takes it like an Uber. um yeah, so obviously, as you can see here, I'm just doing the shading for the fruit. So yeah, so I had this idea, and then I thought I just really want to draw it. I needed to get it out of my system. I was promising myself to make more serious art. So obviously, if you guys have seen my recent posts on Instagram, it's very much girly, with cross hatching, shading, and highlighting, rather than actually putting I wouldn't say putting effort into the rendering, because I do put effort into it, and I like the cross hatching techniques that I have. But I thought I'd try something that's a little bit more, I guess, you know, challenging for me. Something more. I don't know. I just wanted to try something different. That's it, really. But I still wanted to keep my sort of style in it. So obviously, as you can see, I still use some of that cross hatching stuff because it's just what I'm used to. It's just very much what a lot of my art is at the moment. So yeah, just wanted to just wanted to still sort of emulate that sort of crosshatch feeling. Yeah. And then yeah, so the day before I did the line art, well, the sketch and then the line art. And then yesterday I did the base colors, and then I thought, why not record this? Like, why not? What's the worst that could happen? I would sound embarrassing and dumb, but I mean, I do all the time anyway. So so yeah, so I just thought, I'm just gonna record the actual rendering process. As you can see here, obviously as well, I'm just doing the details on the lily pads, and I'd just like to say, because I know somebody's gonna say it, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I knew. It's not very realistic. So the girl is not realistic because she is the size of a thumb. Um, well, actually, if the frog's that big, should be about the size of, like, half the size of a fist, something like that. Anyway, um, yeah, the frog shading isn't very realistic. Like, the details on the frog. The lily pads, again, not like 100% realistic. Because I thought, I mean, it's not very realistic in the first place. This doesn't happen on the daily basis. Um, and I just wanted to sort of, I don't know, I just wanted, again, I was trying something new, and I thought I just wanted to make this really colorful and, and whimsical, I guess. And I just thought, yeah, what's the point of making it super realistic? I just wanna have fun with it. As you can see here, obviously I realized that the water wouldn't be light, it would probably be dark because I'm an idiot. Um yeah, I just decided to make it darker because I thought, I actually didn't think about how much it would make everything else pop. Which I'm really glad that I changed it to a darker, teal. Here I'm just adding, just little details to the lily pads, just the highlights essentially. They were really fun to do. I don't know why. I just like doing blotches of whatever, and just yeah, just making it look the way it looks. So here I started rendering the back pond plants, whatever you want to call them. I actually don't know what they're called. I should probably Google it. Let me Google it. What do you call the plants in ponds?
Here is some information for plants that grow in a pond. According to Young People's Trust for the Environment, some of them float on the surface with tiny roots dangling in the water, e.g., duckweed and frogbit. Others have their roots buried in the mud at the bottom of the pond and their leaves float on the surface, e.g., water lilies and crowfoot. Then there are fully submerged plants such as starwort and spiked water milfoy.
Okay, so I'm just gonna call them pond plants, because I ain't doing all that. But yeah, so I was just essentially just adding more details to the the plants in the background, just general details. Here you can see I really went in with the details. Not for every single plant that was there, because I was like, that's gonna be a little bit too much. But I thought, just yeah, I just wanted to add a little bit of texture. Again, not realistic at all. I didn't use any references. I was just sort of doing what feels right, which is pretty much my process with a lot of my drawings. I just think like, yeah, this is all right. I like how this looks. And I guess it works. I mean, I think it works. It might not. People might hate it, but I like it. Um, but yeah, so just it's just me just adding some details. And then going back to what I was saying before anyway, yeah, I was planning on making some more serious art instead of just doing my typical, pretty girls shaded with cross hatching and whatnot. But I really needed to do this. Like, it was just an idea that sat on my head for a while, and I finally was like, okay, I can see how it looks now. And I just needed to draw it because I thought I was gonna go fucking insane from not drawing it. So I'm really glad I did. It was really fun to do, actually. And I thought, a lot of the time when I'm drawing, or well, actually not recently, because again it was just mainly cross hatching really, but in the past, in like the way past, when I used to, render a lot more, up to this sort of like, amount, or even more than that. I used to be very critical of myself and feel like none of it was good enough. So I was a little bit scared going into this because I thought, I'm gonna go all out with the rendering and then it's just gonna look like shit, because it always looks like shit. But then it turned out to be okay. And I really like it. I'm happy with how it came out. It's cute, it's different, it's just, yeah, it's just, I like it. It's just a lot of fun. Um, Obviously here. So that at this point, this is where I'm starting to just add, just really, really add the details. Obviously, as you can see, I removed the lines from the water as well, just because I thought, realistically, there's not going to really be lines like that. It's going to just have Oh, sorry, I cut off there. But yeah, I was just thinking realistically, there's not going to be these like thin, you know, thin curved lines in the water. So I thought I'm just going to remove the lines, and I actually liked how it looked. I thought it worked well with the whole, general smooth look of everything else. So at this stage, I was like, something is missing from this. Something is just not sitting right with me, and I need to do something about it. So I thought I'm just going to go all out, and I'm going to add an overlay of a dark color, and just really just get some light on there. Just really get some light on there and just see how it looks. I Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say about this point, really. I just thought it was. I did like how it looked. Obviously, I loved how it looked, but it just felt very flat to me, like very, very flat. And I just thought, I mean, what's the worst? I could just remove the layer if I don't like it at the end, that's the good thing about layers in Photoshop. Um, but I ended up actually keeping it. So here I'm just adding like a few more details, just sort of like adding more specs. And then I thought, you know what? And then the storyline changed in my head a little bit. I was like, okay, she's going home like after berry picking on her frog. Um, just after the sunset, just when the sun is setting, just sort of dusk. Is dusk the word? I'm pretty sure it's dusk anyway. And I thought, yeah, like I thought it would have a red in my head anyway. I think dusk, when I think of dusk and dawn, I think of like a sort of like a red tint. So I thought, yeah, I'm just gonna add a red tint to it and it would look nice, and it did, and I liked how it turned out. As you can see, I did some fireflies there as well. I added a few more specs from removed a few more specs, sorry, from the overlay, from the shadow overlay. Although I thought to myself, oh, okay, yeah, these are like tree specs, like when the light goes through the tree leaves and it leaves like, there's like bits where it's like the light is coming through. And then I thought, what kind of fucking tree would leave this many specs? um on the things around it, and then I thought, doesn't matter, it's not realistic anyway, whatever. So yeah, then I did some fireflies. I blurred out the plants in the front, as you can see, and made them darker as well, including the lily pad that's like at the very, very front on the bottom left corner. Made that darker as well and a bit blurred out. So yeah, here is the final piece. I hope you guys like it, and thank you so much for watching.